video is going to be the start to a mini series that I'd like to do, and it's going to have 3 parts that are covering the main avenues that you can take if you would like to grow your family through adoption. Since adopting ourselves, I've actually had a number of people in our life reach out to me because they're interested in adoption and would like to know where to begin. And it's such an honor to be a part of that journey, and so I hope that I can be a part of yours today as well. Without further ado, option number 1 is the Children's Aid Society. So this is a really awesome avenue if you and your family would like to adopt or foster within your own country. So basically, to get started, you contact your local Children's Aid Society and they'll chat with you a little bit about the basics of fostering and adopting through them. And they'll also ask you some simple questions about you and your family. And then they will actually have a worker contact you who will be your assigned worker. So that worker will then slowly work you through what's called a home study. And so some of the things that are involved in that is a questionnaire, so things about who you are as a person, your family history and whatnot. And then you've got a medical, that's just basic, done by your doctor. There's a police check, some references from people in your life, and yeah, just lots of visits with your worker as you go through those things and the paperwork that's involved. So within that time, you're going to complete something called PRIDE training, which stands for Parental Resources and Development for Information. Oh, got that wrong. Parental Resources and Information for Development and Education. So depending on where you're watching from around the world, the training you receive could be totally different. But here in Ontario, Canada, it is the PRIDE program that's offered by CAS. And so essentially how it works is once a week for 9 weeks, you're going to be going to the Children's Aid Society, typically in the evenings, and you're going to be meeting with other families and individuals who are walking through the process and hoping to get approved. And so the training is really just focused on making sure you're equipped to make a proper decision about if this is right for you. And it's really got a lot in there about the different challenges that can come with bringing hurting children into your home who may have a traumatic past. And we found it was very positive, but also really practical. And there was also a lot of personal testimony in there of children who had walked through CAS or foster parents who had years of experience. And as far as the timing of it, it really just depends on when the Children's Aid Society will offer it, that you'll be working through it. Now with other adoption avenues, you can often complete the training online, but we'll talk about that in future videos. CAS really values the group atmosphere and the awesome conversations that can come with that. Once your home is approved, it can be hard to say how long it'll be until a child's actually placed in your home, as it really depends on where you live, the need in your area. I've heard that the amount of children in the system can really go up and down with time, and so just keep that in mind going forward. So you let your worker know if you would like to foster only, foster with a view to adopt, or adopt only. And so you're going to have to make a decision whether you are willing to foster or not, if adoption is your goal. It's important to remember that if it is determined by CAS that a child will not be going back to their birth parents, CAS typically looks at what's called the next of kin or even Kith options. And so I'm going to put an explanation in the description of the video as to what those two things are if you're not sure. But if CAS does decide that a child will be placed for adoption, it is likely that they will consider the family that's already raising that child through foster care. And obviously it would go a lot smoother and be less traumatic for a child to be able to stay in the home that they have already adjusted to. I would add that CAS does make sure that there's not a better match when it comes to race, religion, culture, as these are elements that CAS really values when it comes to a child's life and placement. However, hopefully those things would be taken into consideration before a child was even placed at all. You may be thinking, I could never do it. I couldn't handle it emotionally, or I would get way too attached. But I think it's crucial to remember that the most important things in life are often the hardest things. And so I really believe those thoughts shouldn't keep us from bringing these people into our life who are so vulnerable and desperately need us. As far as getting too attached, it's a funny thing to think about because I really believe that children are getting too attached, in that they deserve an unconditional love that's without limits. You know, they shouldn't feel like they're temporary guests passing through, but that they are a part of your family, that you're invested in them. And I've been honored to get to know some foster families personally in my life, and every single one of them has treated the children like they are their own. And it's a beautiful thing, even if it is just for a season. If you have any more questions about what it looks like to foster to adopt, don't hesitate to reach out to your local Children's Aid Society. Whenever I chatted with them on the phone, I found I got my questions answered really thoroughly. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to hear back from them because they are very busy, obviously, and sometimes understaffed. Also, feel free to email me at 123letstalklife@gmail.com, and I will joyfully try my best to answer any questions you might have. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye!